tile and floor covering.
They see these beautiful hardwood floors, and it just makes a stunning statement in people's homes.
Make your house a showplace. Give your house a new face. Make your house a wow house. City Tile and Floor.
City Tile.
I'm Ken Coleman. Join me here on News Radio WGNS, weekdays live at noon, as we answer your questions about your calling, passion, and talent to maximize your potential.
This segment is not a testimonial of the services provided by Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin.
Rutherford Issues with Brian Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
Rutherford Issues powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. You know they help provide light, comfort, and connection to our community and have since 1936. As your trusted energy advisor, MTE is always here to help. Connect online at mte.com or download the My MTE app. Well, Lee Colvin, Edward Jones financial advisor, joins us. Also called you Mr. Edward Jones, but then that's really not your name. But have you ever been called Edward Jones?
Often. Often. Yes. Matter of fact, when I first moved here, many years ago, I'd hand out my card. Hey, I'm Lee Colvin with Edward Jones. I'd hand out my card. I'd give it to them, and on the way out, they'd shake my hand. They'd say, "Okay, see you later, Edward."
Or your good friends call you Ed.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Well, things been treating you well? Summertime, all that good stuff?
It is beautiful weather out there. I hate that we were confirmed some tornadoes on Sunday, but
yeah.
Hope everything and everybody was okay.
A little wild, wasn't it?
It was.
Well,
loving this weather and loving for all the prospects coming this summer.
Well, we are going to talk with you today as being an Edward Jones financial advisor. Going to get some information on are your goals must-have or nice-to-have? Boy, I hope my wife's listening.
Uh-oh, Heather. Sorry. That's a great question, Brian. Like everybody, you may have a lot of financial goals, right? Life is happening, you're thinking of things, but the question around those goals is, are they all equal in importance? And honestly, for most of us, the answer is probably not. And do those goals, do they share a similar timeline? Well, you and I talk about risk, reward, and time a lot, and we know that timelines can change for everybody and everything. Mm-hmm. Again, it's unlikely that your timeline is the same. So your first step, as we're talking about this, may be to prioritize your goals, and then follow a process that can help you achieve those goals.
Well, we're going to kind of talk about the process today with about 4 key points: identifying your goals, must-haves, nice-to-have, prioritizing your investment dollars, putting a price tag on your goals, and following an appropriate strategy. So let's take care of the elephant in the room. Are they must-haves or are they nice-to-have?
Yes. Right? Isn't that the answer most folks are looking for? Yes,
probably
of
so.
Course. Making sure, Brian, that you can retire comfortably and won't outlive your resources, that definitely is a must-have goal. Sure. I don't know of anybody, and honestly, I think sometimes we almost focus too much on that because it's just so important. But for this goal, you cannot compromise. You need to be certain of achieving it,
sure,
or at least as certain as possible. But if you want to someday maybe own a vacation home by the beach and you can't ever quite afford it, you might find an acceptable substitute, such as renting. So it seems fair to say that achieving this goal of having a second home or a vacation home would be a nice to have, where having a comfortable retirement is still the must-have.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. It should be a category very nice to have. But, you know what I mean?
Right.
In that example of a home by the beach. Let's talk about prioritizing our investment dollars. This kind of helps us get to that place where we have that must-have goal of being able to live in retirement comfortably.
Mm-hmm. Unless you have unlimited sums to invest, and very few of us have that luxury in today's society, especially with the inflation we've seen the last few years.
Right.
You'll probably need to prioritize where your investment dollars are going. For your main must-have goal, as an example, we might want to say retirement. You'll be helped by the ability to automatically invest through your 401k or other employer-sponsored retirement plans. You and I last month talked about a few new options that are becoming available in retirement planning from some new rules that have been put in place. But if you're on track toward this goal and you budget carefully and potentially receive salary increases over the years, then you may also find space to keep contributing toward the nice to have goals, not just the must have goals.
Lee Colvin is with us today. He is an Edward Jones financial advisor, and we're talking about goals. Are they must have? Are they nice to have? Our third point here, putting a price tag on your goals.
Always a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
Always a fun one, yeah. Where's that radio break?
More on the next show.
So putting a price tag on the goals. Brian, you need to know what your goals will cost. Too many times folks will come in and they will not have even researched what those goals could cost. But you may need to estimate the cost for some goals based on different factors. For example, when you think about your goal of retiring comfortably without outliving your money, you'll need to consider some key questions, including these. Let's say, when do you want to retire? How about what sort of retirement lifestyle do you envision for yourself? Do you see yourself downsizing your living arrangements? So for these, they're kind of primary, necessary questions to ask. For other goals, though, such as purchasing, I'm going to go back to that vacation home, right? That we already know it's a nice to have.
Mm-hmm.
You could get more specific on how much money you'll need around that type of goal.
To cover your nice to haves.
To cover the nice to have. That's right.
Well, that kind of leads us into the final point here about make sure we follow an appropriate strategy to accomplish that, right?
That's right. The nature of your goal and their estimated cost, along with your appetite for risks, should really drive your investment strategy. But another key factor here is time. So for a long-term goal, and you and I are talking about risk tolerance and time a lot on here. For a long-term goal like retirement, what I would mention here is that you'll likely need a reasonable amount of quality, growth-oriented investments in your portfolio. While these investments such as stocks and stock-based mutual funds will fluctuate in value over shorter periods of time, your hope is that over several decades, they will ultimately provide the growth that you need to meet your retirement goal. However, to achieve a goal that you want to meet in a year or so, perhaps you're paying for a wedding or planning You're right. Yeah, go ahead and cough that one up, because Bobby's going to be ready in a few years.
20 years.
Okay, when she's 42, she'll be able to don't worry, Bobby. We'll have a talk about this afterwards. Those wedding plans, right? I hit a sore topic here, folks.
Yeah, boy, it hurt.
Planning for a long vacation. You may want to consider more stable investments, such as CDs, certificates of deposit, maybe short-term bonds, or even cash, or maybe cash equivalents. These may not provide much in the way of growth, but you can essentially count on them to provide the amount that you need when you need it. And you'll need to regularly review the performance of your investment strategy for each goal to assess your progress.
Well, achieving these goals, whether we're talking about the must-have goals or the nice-to-have goals, I think if we had to put one word on it, that word probably is challenging.
Good word.
Yeah.
Good word. Nice constant. It's always challenging, so nice constant word there, yes. But in identifying and prioritizing these goals, Brian, following an appropriate strategy to meet them and consistently reviewing your approach, you can help yourself get to where you want to go. And, folks, I'm just going to make it simple. As you're reviewing this for yourself, as you might be looking at this for you and your family, there is one word that might be more powerful than anything else we've said today, and that is, please communicate. Communicate. In life, the friendship and relationship that Brian and I have built, I think we have a great time doing the radio show here every other Tuesday. But part of that is understanding where one another are, understanding how to have these discussions, how to bring it across in a way that you all hopefully can hear it, take it in, and use it in your lives. But at the same time, when you go home, whether you're talking to your spouse, talking to your kids, talking to other family members, or just planning for yourself, communicate with one another. Reach out. Again, we always talk about reaching out to folks like myself, a financial advisor, also your CPA or tax planner, also your legal representative. Reach out to all of us. Let us help you guide through these goals, these plans, and just get down the path a little bit easier.
Lee, as always, appreciate the time today.
Appreciate you, Brian.
Yeah.
Hope you have a great week and have a great summer.
You too. You too. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. That's Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin joining us here on the program today. And do want to give you this reminder now. If you missed part of the show, you can check WGNSradio.com. And then from there, tap on podcast and then scroll down to Rutherford Issues to listen back to today's show or any of our local shows. And catch them again at WGNSradio.com. That's going to do it for today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. We'll see you back here next time.